Quail log, June 4th. Hopefully you can hear me. Looks like there's sounds coming through. So, all right, it's really noisy in here because I have 20 birds playing in sandboxes. So, give a view on everyone. If they'll sit still, they're probably going to be nice and dirty right now. Everyone is in the sandboxes. Well, I thought everyone was. I guess it's a little hard for all 6 of these girls to be in 2 sandboxes. And there's the Pharaoh boy. And let's see if we can see anything over these guys. Open the door. See if I can get a better view. There's my 3, there's at least 2 of the boys. I'm not sure where the 3rd one is. Maybe he is in the sandbox too. Nope, I see him over here in the corner. So, let's see what I can get. There we go. There's all 3 of my boys. And they're showing up decently right now. See if I can get in here and see him a little better. There we go. So, that's where everyone is at this morning. I moved the bachelors down to the bachelor pad again. I figured they'll get a little better air circulation down there with the doors. There's only not being solid. So that's part of why I moved them back down there. And also I moved them back down there because I decided they no longer need the light. So it seems to be working out well. At least that's where they moved down to this morning when I cleaned out manure trays. So this is my first week of actually using the pine chips in all the manure trays. So my thoughts at this point is that I like them better just for the ease of cleaning. When I took the trays outside, I was able to just easily dump them. I didn't have to pull paper towels off of them. They everything just kind of fell off. There was a couple pieces that I had to knock off, but they weren't too bad. So cleaning up is a little easier, not a whole lot easier than the paper towels, but a little easier. The one complaint I have right now is the smell has been worse the last week. I don't know how much of that is the pine chips versus just having 20 birds that are now mostly full grown. So I guess all of them are technically full grown at this point. So I think some of that's where the smell has been coming from, is that there's just that many birds, and that's what's causing that much more of the smell. The tray, especially the bottom tray, is a lot more manure than I get on any of the other trays. All of their stuff seems to fall through, versus the older birds, there's a lot more sticks and I have to clean out of the cages each week. So overall, I think I'm going to continue using the pine chips. The cost-wise, it's about the same as using paper towels. It might be a little bit cheaper, but the one thing that I can do is I can dump this in a pile on the ground, and I'm not worried about the paper towels blowing around or anything from the paper towels, because it's just the wood chips with the manure. So that's probably the reason that I'll continue doing it, especially if we're buying in the pine pellets for one of our cats. Every time I go down and get more pine pellets, I will end up getting at least 1 bag of the pine shavings. I may next time get 2, just so that I don't have to worry about when I go down there again. But overall, I can't say they're any worse or any better than using the paper towels. And I'll just have to see once I actually do reduce the number of birds that I have, whether the smell gets better, or we'll see how bad this week is. I've not had a problem with the bachelor pad being filled or any water on the floor. I didn't have any problems with the top one having water or coming down into the manure tray. So either the pine chips absorbed all of it, or whatever they were doing and it was causing the problems with the water before, was not a problem up top. So now we'll see with the boys down below again. Since I guess I'm talking about that, let's show it. We'll see if we have problems with the water again, see if it's something with those spouts down there and the way they use them, or for all I know, it was something the girls were doing. But now that I've split the girls and the boys apart, I've not had any issues. The one thing I am thinking about doing is that possibly taking in Pharaoh boy down here, or Pharaoh man, or my older Pharaoh, and putting him into the brooder and taking at least one of the doors from down below and putting it up top, and taking one of the solid doors and putting it down below. And then I can have 2 bachelor pads, and then I can split this lower cage out into 3, and so that the 6 of them are not cooped up into 2 coops. But if I do that, I'll do that later on today. I haven't decided yet whether that's my plan or not, but at least that's the direction I'm heading with it, because I think I know we're not getting around to taking care of birds this weekend, and so they're going to be down here for at least, I believe, another week. And if that's the case, I want to give those birds a little more space and not be as cramped up. Though having 6 and 2 seems to be isn't too bad, especially since these guys have grown up together and have not had as much space as the others have had. So at least that's where I'm at for right now. I'll see if I record any more today, based on what happens throughout the day. So, but right now they have the trays clean and everyone has sand, and they seem to be doing good, and everyone seems to be happy right now. I'm not noticing anything other than some of the older girls. They just don't have all their feathers, and none of them seem to be hurt, none of them are bleeding, so I will leave them without as much feathers, and we'll see where they go from there. So I'm not sure what's wrong with this cage, or with the watering feeder in this cage. I came down this afternoon to drop off a bag of sand after going to the store, and found that the tray was full of water, and that I can see up above I'm almost empty on water, and that was almost full this morning. So from when I cleaned the tray and put them down here, it is filled with water since then. When I checked this one on this side, it was full of water all the way to the brim. I know it sat there, it had no problems when it sat there for a couple of weeks when no one was down here. Had no problems with water on the floor. If this much water had come down, I know that I would have seen it, and I had checked the cups several times during that time period, and there's no water in it. So it's definitely something the birds are doing, but I don't know what. So I'm gonna have to clean out this tray because it is filled with water, and I know it's going to start to smell fairly soon. So there's something wrong with that watering system. I may pull this end off and switch it with the one up top and see if they have the same issue or what happens. But there's something that they're doing that's able to drain the entire water into the tray below it. The sand tray had no water in it, so it definitely tells me it's not leaking further on up. It was definitely that one watering cup. They somehow figured out a way to make it overflow and just keep going and going until all the water drained out. So at least that's it seems to be happening, and I don't know why. So I'm still looking into it, but that's what's going on.